Welcome back. On a professional level, I have a client who's having a house built, and she's known her builder for many years, and he's done work on many other properties of hers. He's given her a quote for the work and said that it will not be above $120,000 for his labour costs. But she's decided that she doesn't need a written agreement. And I've advised her that no matter how well she knows her builder, she does need a written agreement stating clearly that his costs will not be more than $120,000. What happens if he's injured on the job and he hasn't been paying his public liability insurance? What if he goes into bankruptcy and just leaves the job halfway done and leaves the country? If you have a quote from a builder which includes materials, their suppliers might go out of business. The builder's costs could go up and your costs would go up accordingly. If you want to protect yourself on materials, open up an account at a builder's merchant so that you can buy the materials yourself and you can get the most competitive prices. That way, when your builder is quoting you prices for labour, you know you're paying just for labour and you can negotiate his labour costs, especially now when construction work is in such short supply. So as you can see, on both a personal and a professional level, you always need a written agreement. You can be in a romantic relationship or a marriage, and all of a sudden your partner goes to the bank and draws all your money, and you're left with all the debts. And no matter how much you love someone, where there is money involved, make sure everything is spelled out really well. Make sure your lawyer has covered everything and you're not leaving any loopholes. For example, I knew someone who'd been married for 25 years and their only daughter was getting married. The wedding was a very expensive one, and as soon as they got home from the daughter's wedding, the wife started preparing for bed. And she sees her husband has a suitcase on the bed and he's emptying his drawers out into the suitcase. "What are you doing?" she said. "I'm packing. I'm leaving you. I just wanted to wait until our daughter got married and was out of the house so I could leave you. I found someone else." After 25 years of marriage, he just walked out and left her with a pile of debts. If you're being asked to sign anything, for example from your husband of 30 years, make sure a lawyer checks that paperwork. Ensure that someone can explain it to you, and don't be led like a lamb to the slaughter. In the end, that partner may leave you, divorce you or die, and may leave you with a lot of debt. You need to know what you are going to be responsible for. Another important point to remember is that if anyone ever wants you to sign papers quickly, your answer must always be no. Don't ever allow yourself to be rushed into a financial agreement. No matter how good the deal might sound, you need time to assess whether or not it's right for you. If you're ever asked to sign a lease or a mortgage with your partner or spouse, make sure you understand it thoroughly. Make sure you can afford it. People have a tendency when they sign a lease or a mortgage to figure out how much they can afford to spend each month. But what they don't calculate into these costs is a failing economy, or one or both of the partners being laid off or fired, and they're out of work for an extended period of time, and maybe can't find other employment. So if you are contemplating signing a lease or a mortgage with a partner, make sure you calculate it for just one income. Because if you're basing it on two incomes in this economy, you may find that you don't have enough money to cover the rent or the mortgage. And don't be embarrassed to tell your spouse or business partner that you want to speak to a lawyer to have him go over the fine print with you. When signing a legal document, many people don't bother to read the fine print. Or if they do bother to read the fine print, they don't understand all the details. And wherever your money is being spent, that's where you need to be very vigilant about your role in protecting it. Next week, I'm going to discuss wants and needs. Many people confuse what they want with what they actually need. So next week we're going to look at the differences between the two and how you can adjust your expectations to fit in with the downturn economy. See you next week.